Look up on a clear night, and the scale of the Milky Way is almost impossible to comprehend. It contains hundreds of billions of stars, and statistically, billions of them have Earth-like planets orbiting in their habitable zones. Given the age of the universe, the galaxy should be teeming with intelligent life, much of it far older than our own. In 1950, physicist Enrico Fermi was walking to lunch at Los Alamos with his colleagues when he pointed out this glaring mathematical contradiction. He summarized the problem with a simple, famous question: where is everybody? The math makes the absence of aliens difficult to ignore. Even if an advanced civilization only possessed the kind of slow, sub-light starships that humanity is currently conceptualizing, they could still physically colonize the entire Milky Way in roughly 5 to 50 million years. On a cosmological scale, that is an incredibly short window of time. Since many of these star systems are billions of years older than our own, Earth should have already been visited, or we should at least see the remnants of interstellar probes and mining infrastructure. Instead, astronomers observe what is known as the Great Silence. The math suggests a crowded galaxy, but our physical observations show an empty void. Our response to this silence has been remarkably optimistic. For over a century, we have treated the cosmos like a friendly neighborhood, actively sending out radio signals and hoping an older, wiser civilization might pick up the phone. We even packed our interstellar probes with physical greetings. We attached the golden record to the Voyager spacecraft, complete with detailed mathematical instructions on how to locate our solar system. In 1974, we deliberately intensified this effort. We used the massive Arecibo Observatory to blast a high-powered radio message aimed toward the M13 star cluster, detailing our DNA, our population size, and our precise cosmic coordinates. All of this outreach relies on the assumption that a highly advanced species will naturally be peaceful. But there is an alternative explanation for the Great Silence. What if the universe isn't empty, but rather everyone else is just holding their breath? In 2008, science fiction author Liu Cixin outlined a chilling game theory solution to the Fermi Paradox in his novel The Dark Forest. He introduces a theoretical field of study called cosmic sociology, which is built on two absolute rules. The first axiom is that survival is the primary need of any civilization. Everything else is secondary to continuing to exist. This diagram illustrates the second axiom. Life continuously expands and multiplies over time, but the total physical matter in the universe remains constant. The available resources to sustain that life are strictly finite. When you put these two rules together, the result is inevitable. Any two expanding civilizations will eventually require the exact same resources to survive. What starts as distant coexistence will eventually become a fight for the exact same physical space. Under these conditions, the universe operates as a strict zero-sum game. The very existence of another intelligent species makes them a biological competitor.
This diagram illustrates the next complication, the chain of suspicion. The vast distances between star systems mean that species are isolated by a massive gap in space. Because of this gap, you are playing a game of incomplete information. You can never accurately gauge the true intentions of a newly discovered neighbor. Are they peaceful or are they hostile? You cannot know for sure, and they do not know if you are peaceful or hostile either. Compounding this paranoia is the speed of light. If it takes 100 years just to say hello and another 100 years to receive a reply, negotiation is structurally impossible. You cannot establish trust with a centuries-long time delay. In an environment of complete uncertainty, logic dictates your next move. You are forced to assume that the other civilization is a threat, because trusting them and being wrong guarantees the extinction of your species. You might think an advanced, spacefaring civilization could simply ignore a weaker, primitive planet, but doing so ignores a concept known as the technological explosion. This chart shows how progress actually works in cosmic terms. A species might spend thousands of years using stone tools, represented by this flat line. But once they hit industrialization, their capabilities spike exponentially in a geological blink of an eye. Because of this, you can never safely monitor a weaker civilization. If an advanced alien race detects Earth today and decides we are harmless, we could experience a technological explosion
and develop the weaponry to destroy them by the time their observation data even reaches their homeworld. When you pair the impossibility of knowing an alien's true intentions with their potential for sudden, explosive technological growth, there is only one winning strategy. If you detect another civilization, the safest and only logical move is to launch a preemptive strike and eliminate them immediately. This logic leads to the central metaphor of the hypothesis. The universe is a dark forest. Every advanced civilization is an armed hunter stalking through the trees like a ghost, gently pushing aside branches and trying to tread without sound. Even breathing is done with care. Every hunter knows the woods are full of others exactly like them. If they make a sound, if they reveal their position, another hunter will spot them and open fire, simply to guarantee their own survival. In the 1987 novel, The Forge of God, science fiction author Greg Bear likened humanity to an infant lost in these woods. We are sitting in the dark, crying our hearts out, wondering why no one is answering, all while drawing down the wolves. For over a century, we have been broadcasting our television shows, our radar pulses, and our precise coordinates into the void. We have operated under the assumption that the galactic sky is empty, when in reality, it might be full of predators, listening for planets that don't know enough to keep quiet. The lack of radio chatter from the stars does not mean intelligent life is rare. According to the dark forest hypothesis, the Great Silence is exactly what a crowded universe sounds like when every surviving civilization is smart enough to hide.